Good morning, guys. Having a little coffee this morning. Cheers. I'm Amelia Duran, the host of Porthole to Justice, and just gonna sit and have some coffee with you guys this morning. I was up late last night. I was recently asked the question if I'm embarrassed by my body of work on social media and what I post. No, I'm not. And I know that I probably have, some people that dislike my posts or dislike me personally, but that's none of my business, is it? Everybody is entitled to their opinion, and I respect everybody's, religious beliefs. And however, religion is not for me, and I'm very vocal about that. And I just do me on social media. It's like I post about a lot of topics, and yesterday I was painting and I was listening to the news, and there was something on the news about child trafficking at the borders, and this is mainstream media. It's a crisis at the Texas border here where I live, and I was talking about this stuff 7 years ago on the Porthole to Justice podcast and the Human 2020 platform. And I talked about it very extensively in great detail. And, it's like all of these things are going to come to pass. And it's like, I don't know if people are just blind, but not just blind, they just can't see or refuse to see, or they're just completely offended by the truth. I mean, I'm offended by math or algebra. I don't know. I honestly don't know, and I know I have no problem with Joe Biden being elected. I think that it's important for the Democrats to see and experience what truly is going on in this country. And, it's not just about the child trafficking, it's the war. And it's not a conventional battle like you would see, you would imagine war in our past history books. It's about, economic, psychological, and spiritual warfare attacks. And they've weaponized the spiritual and conscious community. They're being used for programming, and the mainstream media has been weaponized. The censorship and behavior modification at every level of our society. It's all the same mentality. And if you're a healer and you're not speaking out on the truth, you're not healing and empowering the people. And I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel. That's not a temple or a platform. That's a template for a business. And that's not empowering folks. The truth empowers people. So I say, go back into my archives, go back into 2014 when I was talking about, all of these controversial topics, and people were calling me a conspiracy theorist. The war on our men, to feminize our men, get them hooked younger and younger on transitional medications that are manufactured in China, at one manufacturer for global supply. Once you start taking these medications, you have to stay on them for life. And the sad part it is they're not teaching the side effects of these medications on the health. There's just so much more involved in this war. And the agenda is to make, they want you to think that the world is overpopulated. China is overpopulated, and that's why they started the one child per family program, and they have a preference for male babies for decades now. At some point you're going to have a shortage of females. They also have a controversial stance on abortion and what they do with babies. Cannibalism around the world is, in some parts is not taboo. So, there's that. There's the agenda to make you believe that we're overpopulated. This affords the establishment the ability to, when the population is smaller, it affords the establishment the ability to micromanage the individual and limit individuality. They want conformity. They want to limit individuality and emotional IQ in the populace, so that we continue to generationally traumatize and re-enslave generation after generation. I bring attention to a lot of these things, and they're controversial topics, but they need to be spoken about. It may anger some people, it may get them upset, but we should be having conversations about these topics and around these topics. There's there's the war on our finances, You'll see these economic templates, being actively implemented in areas like where I grew up, in Los Angeles and San Francisco, where they are intentionally contriving poverty. They're using the probate courts to target individuals, and extort them. There's court whores. It's a circuit of people that intentionally target individuals and marriages and the family unit to extort and to take their estates, liquidate their estates, and traffic their children. Your children are considered property in the probate courts. A lot of people don't know this stuff, and they have eliminated due process in the lower courts. So, these are things that people should be talking about. Again, it's not being talked about. Where is the leadership? What is going on in our spiritual, conscious communities, social justice communities that it is so taboo that we're not even allowed to talk about these issues and the war that's being actively waged in within these movements. Everything is infiltrated. Everything. The war is on your finances. There's a ton of hacking going on online. There's online phishing going on. There's they want to buy up the debt. They want to own the hospitals. They want to they want to take your houses through probate court. They want to take our land. All of this, and systematically driving up the rents so high to where people can't afford to live in homes anymore. all this is being systematically done, and then we have they're simultaneously creating low-wage labor facilities, conditions that we see in other countries. So all of this is being systematically done, and someone asked me, well, are you, I mean, and then then there's the other thing is I wanted to mention is, there's the Hollywood people, the influencers, the people that are talking about the green movement and progressive and being, liberal and all of these ideas. Some of them are great. However, a lot of them are just agendas, and that's not going to protect you from or make you immune from being targeted in this war. They've weaponized these social justice movements, and they've got handlers and agents and gang stalkers online that are targeting for human trafficking, bullying has become an epidemic, which goes hand in hand with gang stalking. Anytime we get a good movement going or we get some kind of awareness going, it gets infiltrated, and all of a sudden there's all this jealousy and hate and strife and division that goes on in the movement to break up something positive or essential that needs to be heard, or it's shadow banned online or censored. All of this, the weaponizing of the social justice movements, eventually these people that are advocating for all of this stuff, they will be targeted as well. All of this will go mainstream. It'll become more and more important as we go along. And so I meditated on this issue of me going public about being targeted, gang stalked, and bullied by this it's generational, and pointing out all this stuff, all of this huge immense amounts of truth, wealth of knowledge and wisdom that I have freely given to the masses using my artistic skills and whatever tools available to me. All of my projects are zero-based. And somebody asked me if I was embarrassed. Am I embarrassed about my body of work online since 2014? Perhaps, some things I was green and, obviously, I was young. However, no, I think it's all really important. And I think as we move forward and progress as a country, I think that we need to be armed with the truth, because we are in a very real war. And it's an information war. It's a psychological war. It's being fought very unconventionally. I word to the wise, I hope that, the people that need to get the information have access to the information. And I think that it's important as we move along that it is available to the public. And I commend everybody that participated in the Social Media News Network and, the Porthole to Justice and all of these projects. But, I just want to come on and say that because, I don't know, am I embarrassed by what I post on social media? Yeah, I'm embarrassed, but I'm me. This is me. Good morning. You're having coffee with me. And I just think that art art can be moving pictures, images. Art can be a meme. Art, I think people want to limit or label or conventionalize art now and